right, we're back. Week 3 of the podcast. Three-Ride Racing is out of Atlanta this weekend. It's time to move on to Montreal this weekend, and then the next will be at Las Vegas, back with the Cup Series. Hope you guys had a good weekend and you're having a good day today. If you're watching this in the morning, I hope you have a good day. So, let's get dug in. The Three Rock Series and the Chesapeake Cup Diecast Series went there this weekend. However, those two series will take a week off, and we're going to just be doing some B-car racing up north in Canada at Montreal, the road course. That'll be a lot of fun. I think we'll see some new faces, of course, as you always do with road courses. Not really much to discuss. Atlanta was a really nice race. Had a lot of fun with that. We had a mishap with the way the cautions flew, and it kind of glitched out. It was nothing on the league. It was just iRacing kind of goofed and put like some people a lap down and let others go around when they shouldn't have. But Samuel Close took the win in the Cup Series, and rightfully so. He was fast. Him and Cameron were the two competing for the win. So it's not, no one really got too screwed. I know Cameron got put a lap down when he led the most laps, but not by a lot. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's early in the year, and quite frankly, there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. So, good win to Sam. In the Three Rock Series, Skyler Nisl took home the win. He played his cards right. He ended up being on the track, played fuel strategy and the tire game correct, and took home the win. We'll be having a word from them later on in the podcast. We're going to be showing you, of course, a lap at our next Cup track, Las Vegas. We're going to be discussing who's hot, who's cold, all that great stuff. Today we're going to have Skyler, Sam, myself, and, of course, my colleague, Rowdy Levi Zielinski on. The other thing I would like to discuss is that dirt has been confirmed. It was what we all thought an April Fool's joke, a very elaborate one. A lot of people thought that, there's no way they go to this trouble just for an April Fool's joke, and they were correct. So now, Eldora has been confirmed. They've already released a rendering of a late model, a dirt late model. They've shown test videos of, they were testing some rallycross. So, it's crazy right now. So definitely, we're going to see some dirt in Three-Wide Racing's future. Really, really, really excited about that. So with that, let's move on to the interviews. We'll have our roundtable discussion, then the lap at Las Vegas. This last Sunday, April 3rd, the Three Rock Series took Atlanta, and Skyler Nisl took home the win and is now tied for first in the points in the Three Rock Series with Carlos Acosta. So, I know we had a very hot and slippery track at Atlanta. How did the super late models drive? Was there a lot of competitive upfront racing? Did you lead a lot of laps? How did you win this? I never really get to make these races, so I've really got to get a lot of input from you guys. So what won you this race, Skyler?
It was all about being in the right place at the right time, starting in third with fresh tires while the leader had old rubber, and it just being there at the end was all that mattered. It was a lot of close racing, but tires ended up being the difference, and being in the right place.
Yeah, I know as much as the track was very hot, so I know that probably went to a lot of tire, a lot of tire wear. So, would you have done anything different? I know I said last week I was going to scrap this question, but I think it's something kind of interesting to ask. Would you have, because I know you said being in the right place, right time is really what got you there. So, of course, let's say that right place, that right time never showed up. Would you have done anything different to get yourself that win?
I probably would have done the same thing that Skinner tried and didn't take tires or didn't pit on that last stop, because it was really hard to pass in this car. If you didn't stick to the bottom, you didn't have much speed. And the other thing maybe is earlier in the race, maybe tried something to lead some laps to try to break that tie. This series is strictly points. There's no chase, so you gotta scoop every point you can, no matter how you can get it.
Oh yes. So now, April 17th, we're going to Lime Rock Park, and I'm assuming since you're tied for first, you're running this series full time.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna try to run every series full time. I just kind of want to get as much wheel time as I can, have fun. And I enjoy racing it, so.
All right, pretty sweet. So we're at Lime Rock Park. Of course, Talladega is very much a wild card in the sense that, at Lime Rock Park, we're not going to have a 30-car pileup, or you're not going to go from last to first in one lap. So Lime Rock and Talladega, of course, are both wild cards, but just completely night and day. You took Atlanta. Do you plan on performing well at Lime Rock Park? April 17th. It's like the Bristol of road course racing. How do you plan to tackle that track? Do you plan on going for the win, or are you just trying to get out of there? What's your plan?
I think I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing for the whole season in all the series. I'm not a great road racer, but again, we've been at other tracks in the other series that I'm not very good at, and it's just all about like being there at the end is the most important thing. So at Lime Rock, I'm going to try the same thing. Just stay out of trouble, keep it on the track, and if there's an opportunity at the end to scoop the win, great. If not, get as many points as I can and get the heck out of there.
Sounds pretty good. I think that might be a 3-Rock race I'll run because I really, really enjoy Lime Rock Park. It's a really fun track. So you won. You earned this airtime. Do you have anybody to thank or anybody you'd like to give a shout out after your win?
Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of guys that put in a lot of hard work in this league. Obviously, Corey, Nathan Young doing all the schemes for the 3-Rock and a lot of the big schemes in the other series and sponsoring the B cars for us. And then my team just kind of helping out. Everybody communicates really well and definitely helps us all kind of succeed. It's good to see where we're at in the points, having a guy locked in the chase in the Cup, and going from there in the 3-Rock, seeing if maybe we can get a championship in each series from one guy.
That sounds pretty great. Well, I wish you the best of luck to that. Good job on the win. Hopefully, I get to see you in here more. And thanks for dropping by.
You too, buddy. It's been fun.
So this past weekend, April 4th at Atlanta, Sam Close has gone back-to-back, winning Rockingham previously March 28th. This time, it was a little bit different. Not that it was a different track, but that Sam this time did it with one arm. So, Sam, what the hell? How did you embarrass us all with one arm?
Honestly, I don't really know. I turned the force feedback down. I was driving an automatic transmission, and I just found the line. I was able to just find the groove that I needed to be in, and the race kind of came to me. So I really don't know how that happened that way.
It's quite impressive. I know we had a bit of a mishap with iRacing just went full berserk on us, and like it at one point gave me the lucky dog when I was second behind you. It was really weird, but I mean that's not to take away from your win because I mean you were up front all race, so there's no argument to that. Thankfully, I finally got to racing. I was behind you. I was up top 5 all day. Got to do some race with you. It was me and you right there at the end, and unfortunately, I got wrecked out of it. But that's no big deal. So I mean, would you have done anything different? I know the yellows, the way they fell, and what they did mix things up. And I know I said I'd scrap this question, but I think it's actually nice to have it around. Would you have done anything different, or would you just stick with what happened, the way the cards fell? Would you save tires more? I mean, because Cameron Rich, I mean, he was very quick and definitely a competitor. Would you have done anything different to maybe try to get him behind you?
I think I actually would have saved tires a little bit more because I would at the first part of the run, I was all over Cameron. Just trying to get the spot back and being a little, maybe just slightly over aggressive, but even wearing the tires a little bit excessively at any point in your run can really affect when the tires finally fall off of it. So I got to a point there where I overdrove slightly, and Cameron, after he just kind of kept me behind him for a while, was just watching me burn my tires up, and then he was able to drive away from me. So that's what I would have done differently. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done much different.
That's pretty nice. And now, this weekend we're going to have an off week, but the next week after that, April 18th, we'll be at Las Vegas. Do you think your shoulder's going to be better by then? Are you going to do one arm again? I don't think that's going to be a problem for you, clearly. Do you plan on... This is definitely this is another 1.5 miler cookie cutter, but it's definitely night and day compared to Atlanta. What's your game plan going into Las Vegas April 18th?
Well, I got to consult with my doctor, like I said earlier, and just kind of see where it's at. I don't want to re-injure it, but I'll just go with the same approach as Atlanta. Really, I wasn't even gonna try to start up front, but I went out there and did my qualifying, and I was on the pole, so I'm like, well, I can't start from the back now. But yeah, I'll approach Vegas about the same way. Vegas is actually a really good track for me. I've gotten some wins in it, like you have before in the series races. So I'm looking forward to it either way.
Sounds pretty good. I hope to be competitive at Las Vegas. I'm finally getting to where I can I haven't had any connection issues, thankfully. I mean, I just want to get to racing. So, of course, you've won again. You've earned this airtime. Do you have anybody to thank or anybody you'd like to give a shout out after Atlanta?
Well, once again, 3OG, I really appreciate Chesapeake Diecast, all the sponsors of all our leagues. That I saw a really awesome thing that they made for Richard, not for Richard, but they made for Johnny after his championship win last season. And man, I want one of those things. That was just some extra motivation for me to push harder and try to get a championship.
Yeah, I saw that, and like you said, it's really like extra motivation, because how cool would it be to have your iRacing car as a real-life diecast? That's really, really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. They do a really good job over there, so yeah, I want one of those things.
Oh yeah, well, I definitely wouldn't count you out for getting one. I wish you good luck this weekend with the B-Car Series at Montreal, and I'm sure there's a really good chance we'll be talking to you after that race, and who knows, I might be talking to you next week, who knows. I know we'll be seeing you again, Sam, so thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So that was the interview from our race winners this weekend. Before we cut to our roundtable discussion, I actually wanted to take a moment and give a shout out to actually my cousin. He has a band. He's a musician out of Nashville. He actually just released his album on iTunes, and he provides and lets me use all the music on this podcast for free. So I hope you don't mind me giving him a little bit of a shout out. If you look in the description of YouTube where I normally keep the music, I also have a link to where you can buy his album on iTunes. I have his Facebook, his YouTube, all that, as well as our other artists, Michael Milam and Jonathan Searles with SinteryMusic. I had their SoundCloud and all their information down below. So let's move on to the roundtable discussion with me, Skyler, Sam, and my colleague, Levi Rowdy Zelensky. So the three-rod racing series has come off another weekend where Sam Close, with one arm, has beaten us all. We all have to retire. We're done. We're starting a new league. And Skyler takes the win at Atlanta in the three-rock series in a very hot and slick track. So we'll start off with you, Skyler. You started off the weekend. How did you come home for the win at Atlanta?
Right place, right time, fresh rubber.
Did you do a lot of leading in that race? Was there a lot of back and forth? I don't really get the chance to attend a three-rock races. So walk me through how that was.
I actually didn't really lead until like the last. I think I led 12 laps through the whole thing, and they were the last 12 laps. I ended up in the right place. The second to last caution, Skinner stayed out. Me and Paul came and got tires, and I started on the inside in third. And having the fresh tires, I was able to get around Skinner pretty quick, and Paul got kind of hung up on the outside with Skinner there when he moved out of my way to let me by, and we got another quick caution. I was able to get a good restart and just stay out front. It was kind of tough to pass, so it's just a matter of being on the inside at the right time at the end of the race. I guess, leading a ton's not a big deal. It's just a matter of leading the right laps.
Very nice. And of course, Sam will go back-to-back, this time at Atlanta, with one arm. We had a bit of a wacky race, but there's no denying that Sam was fast and up front all day. What won you that race Monday, Sam?
Being out front definitely helped. I got kind of lucky. Cameron had some sort of issue, or there was a glitch in iRacing that put him a lap down, and he got his lap back and ended up restarting 6th. But he just wasn't able to get past the cars in front of him to come challenge. He actually led one more lap than me in the race. So, I was saving. I didn't have quite as good long run speed, but I was trying to save, maintain a gap, let guys burn their stuff up, and it worked out.
Sounds pretty good. Now, my colleague Rowdy didn't get a chance to watch our race, so I have a good question for him. This weekend, the Three Rock Series and the Cup Series have an off week, and it leaves the B car to the weekend all to themselves at Montreal, Sunday, April 10th. Who do you see performing pretty well there, Levi?
I guess one of my picks is kind of out of it because I don't know if he can do it with one hand, but it'll definitely be Sam. Sam's a really awesome road racer. I've raced around him for almost 2 seasons, kind of. He's really good. I'm going to see Justin Kolb, Nathan Velez, and I'm going to see Trevin Roby are going to be up there probably during that race if I don't make it. If I'm up there, I might be able to make it up there. I'm not sure. I haven't raced Montreal on this yet.
And what about you, Skyler? Do you plan on running the B car race this week?
I was hoping to, but I'm actually going to be out of town at the Country Thunder Music Festival, so I'm going to have to take a provisional.
And what about you, Sam? I'm assuming you're running it this week. You're going for championships in both series, correct?
Yeah, and I do believe I'll have to do one arm again, but I have been trying to do some practice with the automatic transmission at a road course, which I'm pretty sure is going to give me a big disadvantage. So, really I'm just going to go for attrition and try not to get in the walls, and then I'm pretty sure I can drag a top 10 out of it.
Oh, yeah. I know this week with it being the only series running, I'm assuming we'll see we'll see a lot of guys this weekend, but I could definitely see Nathan Velez and Trevin Roby definitely being competitors up front this week. So after the B-Car Series Lone Weekend, next week we'll be at... Fuck that. After the B-Car Series Lone Weekend, the week after, April 18th, the Cup Series will be at Las Vegas. Levi, of course, will be making it, but me, Sam, and Skyler will be. Skyler, do you plan on making some noise there, or are you going to just continue your little sleeper deal where you've been top 10 3 weeks in a row? What's your deal? How Las Vegas going to be for you, Skyler?
I haven't really ran many laps there. I'm kind of hoping the car's a little tighter than or not tighter, but more balanced than it was in Atlanta to maybe make a little noise, but at the same time, it's a really long season this year. We're running a lot more races than we usually do. Just going to try to see where I end up.
Oh, yeah, the schedule we have coming up here, April 18th, Las Vegas, and then the next week, Iowa, the next week, Bristol, Auto Club, Charlotte. We've definitely got some competitive, difficult tracks. Sam, how will the arm, will the arm be back? And I mean, it doesn't even matter. You don't even need the other arm, but will it be back by the time we get to Las Vegas, April 18th?
I'm not really sure about that. I got to work that out with my doctor, but hopefully, I don't really want to be at Vegas without my left arm, but if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do.
Luckily for you, you don't even need it. I actually, I've been racing the NASCAR Racing Series. I took a win at Las Vegas this season, so I'm hoping I'm a lot better there. I've had some bad luck at Daytona. Disconnected. Rockingham, I didn't get to start. And Atlanta, I got involved in a late race crash out of second place. So hopefully I'm a little more competitive at Las Vegas and get some points going here. The schedule, I mean, we got Iowa, Bristol, Auto Club, Charlotte. We definitely got definitely not a walk in the park. I mean, who do you see coming out of Atlanta this week? Who's hot and who's cold, Sam?
I mean, we got that new guy, Cameron. If he continues to show up, I think he'll be somebody that will be somebody to deal with every single week. I still think Corey's doing really well. Richard's up front every single race. And Johnny, he does like the sleeper thing, but he does it in the top fives. And so he's definitely going to be up there in the points, and you got to keep your eye on him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And what about you, Skyler? Heading out of Atlanta, who do you see being hot, and who do you see being cold?
Obviously Sam. I know you didn't want to mention himself, but 2 for 2. You can't really argue with that. Kind of the same guys. Johnny sort of does his, quiet, doesn't really get involved in a whole lot, but all of a sudden he's, Kevin Harvicking it there at the end. Paul, if he can keep the car clean. Corey's been kind of hidden there. And then, kind of sleeper-wise, I don't know. I'm trying to think who would, I think might, sneak in there. And some of the cold guys, I don't even know if they're so much cold or as bad luck more than anything.
Yeah, I feel you. And what about you, Levi? Heading out of Atlanta, who's hot on your list and who's cold on your list?
Well, obviously we have Sam Close, Mr. Only show up for 2 races and win both of them with one hand, to mention the last one. Only has 1 incident so far this whole season, so yeah, I'd definitely say he's hot. You have Johnny Thompson. Johnny Thompson just sneaks his way up there. He's kind of, like he said, he's the closer deal. He won't sneak up until the very end, and he'll just pull it away from you like he did to me last season. Sleeper right now, definitely probably Skyler. I'll admit that. He's the only one with 3 top 10s this whole season, so he's done 3 for 3 in top 10s. He's the only one to do it. Right now, who's not doing so hot, though, is Richard Lafferty. He's just had bad luck. Like Stevens, Jess Story, a couple of them right there that are just having bad luck right now.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. Hot for me, I really don't think, I think just at this point, the way things are going, Sam is just a given. So other than Sam, I'd say I could see Johnny Thomas heating up after having a good finish there. I think Cameron Fisher, I don't know where he came from, but he was awfully quick. Hopefully he keeps making it to more races and pulls that confidence. As far as cold, I'm gonna give it to or more like cooling down. I'm gonna give it to Corey because Corey Lindsey, because he did great at Rockingham, he did great at Daytona, and then we get to these cookie cutter, which as everybody says, is the bread and butter of stock car racing. And granted, he did get involved in a wreck. I know he was further in the back of the field, so hopefully they didn't hurt him too much. Of course, Las Vegas will be another cookie cutter, but it's just night and day compared to Atlanta, quite honestly. And they'll have Iowa, Bristol Auto Club to really kind of break that up. And I gotta agree, not just because Skyler's in here, but he definitely point this out to us. Skyler's tied for 3rd in points, and we really haven't heard much from him at all. So I'm definitely going to give him a sleeper pick without a doubt. I don't think he's anybody to sleep on. Keep an eye on Skyler in the coming weeks. So we're not going to pick winners and losers for Las Vegas because that's not until April 18th. We'll do that for next week's podcast. We're going to now focus on the B-Car Series and how they're at Montreal. Right now in the standings, Sam Close is leading him. Not too far behind him is Johnny Thomas, and then we have Derek, Skyler Nisl, Mike Stevens. It's very close-knit right now. So next week we have, of course, a wild card, which really the whole B-Car season has been a wild card. It's been Daytona, Rockingham, and now Montreal. So, Skyler, who's going to win that race?
I think one of the guys that can do it, obviously Sam's always been a really good road course racer. If Levi makes it, he's always a little bit of a threat at those road courses. And then maybe like a guy like Trevin, Nathan Velez is kind of always sort of quick there, but quiet. He kind of shows up near the end. So one of those guys I think can do it.
Oh, yeah. From my past experience, I didn't get to race last season, so I really don't know who's really killing it at the road courses right now. But I do know from my past experience, Trevin Roby was very quick there. So I'm going to, quick at road courses, not just specifically Montreal. So I'm going to pick Trevin Roby to win that race. What about you, Sam? Who's going to walk away with the win at Montreal?
Well, you guys took my pick, but I'm still going to go with him. Trevin Roby, he was excellent at Circuit of the Americas, and if you can do it there, you can do it pretty much anywhere. So I see him being really fast, and I don't know who's going to keep up with him.
And then finally, Rowdy, Montreal, Canada. Who's taking that win? April 10th, this weekend.
Who's going to get it done in Bear County of Canadians that love to drink? Probably Trevin Roby. Other person, Nathan Velez. If I can make it, me, but I don't think I will. So one of those two will definitely come out with the win. But keep your eye on if Justin Cope does decide to race that day. He might be able to take a really good shot. Or Paul Ross even. Paul Ross is actually kind of a sleeper when it comes to a road course. He does pretty good at them.
Oh yeah, I'll probably be making the race just because it's the only race we had this weekend. I'm not I'd say I'm in a higher percentage of road course racers, but I'm not. I'm like maybe like I'll finish fifth as like the top four, like the fast ones take away. But that's pretty much it for the roundtable discussion. We have a short week this week, unfortunately, but next week we'll be back with me and Rowdy and whoever takes the win and whoever's our special guest. We'll be discussing Las Vegas and how the B car race went. I'd like to thank Skyler, Sam, and Rowdy for discussing this with me, and we'll see you all next week. So I stated earlier in the podcast that we'd be going to the lap at Las Vegas, and I was going to do that, but that makes no sense since we're not going to Las Vegas this weekend, and if I did that, we would be stuck with no track to highlight next week, and you'd have to refer back to this video. So, the only series racing this weekend, Sunday, is the Nathan Young Design Series with the B car at Montreal, so I'll be highlighting a lap here. So I'm going to take my semi-fast lap around the track, kind of like my detail lap, and then the second lap I'll be at full speed, quiet down, and let you watch. So exiting pit road here is actually pretty difficult. The angle of the track is like negative right about here. It's real easy to get loose, especially even in race as well. So through here, easy, like, you know, like don't just slam on the gas. Easy into it. Into turn one, use those curves. I'm in first gear through here, out to the wall, second. Easy through here, kind of maybe a little tap of the brakes maybe. You don't want to scrub out too far because you have to get right back to the right of the track to get ready for the apex here. Use those curbs. Now this is a very, very loose part of the track that's right-handed. Be very careful with your throttle here. Nice little bent straight, and you want to brake early here. Into second, into first. It's really, really easy to overdrive this corner. Always use your curbs. Easy out here. Stay off that wall. Don't overdrive, over-rev it. And the second I see a little bend right here is when I start to brake. Stay alongside. Make your corners as wide as you can. Use that apex. And you have a little bit of room. As you see how that curves back in, use that. Use all the track. You want as little wheel movement as possible, of course, when leaving on a straight. All the speed you can get. And up here there'll be brake markers starting with a 5 to your left. See them right here. Into the brakes heavy. Third, second, first. Now you're right-hander. So I'm going to do a bit of a quiet lap. And you watch. And there you have it. A lap at Montreal, 144.5. I overdrove a few corners, so you can definitely improve on that. But that's definitely, I'm pretty happy with that lap. I think that'll give you guys a really good idea. At a road course, less really is more. You don't want to overdrive corners because you're going to kill your corner exit or straight up spin out because The rear tires don't have that grip that you're trying to carry into the corner, so really try not to do that. You want to make sure you want to use all the track. It's there. If it's paved, use it. And even if it's not, you might want to use it just a little bit. I'm overdriving this corner because I'm here describing the track to you guys. But if it's paved, use it. Do not overdrive these corners, but use all of that pavement. You want to make your corners as straight as possible, so you're not scrubbing speed, and it's easier to get these heavy cars with really skinny tires around this built for Formula One track. It's a very, very fun track. I expect this to be a very, very fun race. I think as long as you put together a solid race, keep this thing off the wall, and you're not, at a snail's pace, you're going to do fine here for sure. Keep this thing out of the gravel traps. Of course, not many full course cautions at road courses. Don't be betting on those. You really need to string together a full race. You can't be betting on, oh well, I screwed up here, or maybe I have some leeway to mess up because of a caution. You really, really don't want to rely on that. So we can end this lap here practicing a pit in. Pit road is straight here, so you don't have to be as aggressive. Back it down to 40. This is probably one of the easiest pit roads you'll ever enter. And of course, in 3-out racing, make sure not to drive through too many pit boxes. I'm pretty sure the rule is 3. When you're entering pit road, announce it. When you're exiting pit road, announce it. Especially here, because the pit exit gets right back into the racing line. So be very aware of that. And of course, even if people are announcing it, you need to be aware and responsible for everybody else on the track. Always be aware. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep this off the wall and run just click laps. Road courses especially, you're not really racing everybody else, you're racing that track. And when you race the track, positions will come. Work on that, and you're going to find success at Montreal Sunday. That's going to wrap up this week's podcast, week 3. I wish you all luck this weekend at Montreal, and I look forward to talking with our winner and getting prepped for Las Vegas next week. If you have any questions, criticism, anything you'd like to send my way, please tweet it at me or Rowdy. All that information will be down in the description. Of course, one last shout out to my cousin Jared Beckett of Dry Tavern out of Nashville. Released his album Suitless Sunday, April 5th. I would really, really welcome you to get a look at that. I understand he's my cousin, but it's music that I actually enjoy. It's music that I actually listen to, and it's music that I'm really happy that he's allowing me to use on this podcast for you guys in our entertainment. So if you get that, check that out. Check out the iTunes, his Facebook, all that great stuff, along with SinteryMusic. That would be wonderful. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. I was really, really